Hey everyone, and welcome back. Our whole mission here is to cut through the noise and make wellness actually, well, simple and accessible. And today we're tackling something we literally spend a third of our lives doing: sleeping. But if that's true, why are so many of us walking around like zombies? Let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you hit that wall, hard. And your first instinct is to reach for another coffee. But what if I told you that feeling isn't a caffeine deficiency? It's actually a super important signal from your body. So in this explainer, we're going to decode what your body is trying to tell you and give you the actual tools you need to get your energy back for good.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to talk about the real cost to being tired. Then we'll dive into what's happening inside your brain during a night of sleep. We'll look at why quality is the new quantity, pinpoint the modern roadblocks to rest, and then, the best part, we'll wrap up with 5 science-backed habits you can literally start using tonight.
Okay, first up, the high cost of tiredness. And really, this is all about why sleep deprivation is so much more than just feeling a little groggy.
And yeah, this goes way beyond just feeling a bit out of it. When you're chronically sleep-deprived, you're putting some serious, measurable stress on your body. We're talking a higher risk for major health issues, things like obesity and diabetes, cardiovascular diseases. It messes with your cognitive function, making it harder to think clearly, and can lead to mood disorders like anxiety and depression. I mean, it can even reduce your life expectancy. This is pretty serious stuff.
So, what's actually going on when you finally close your eyes? Let's take a look inside a night of sleep. Because, spoiler alert, your brain doesn't just switch off. It's actually getting down to some serious business while you're dreaming.
Okay, check this out. Every night, your brain goes on this little journey, a 90-minute cycle that it repeats over and over. You start in light sleep, that's kind of the doorway to rest. Then you move into stable sleep. But the magic really happens in the next 2 stages. Step 3 is deep sleep. Think of this as the physical repair crew coming in. It's critical for restoring your body and beefing up your immune system. And then there's REM sleep, the dream stage. This is all about your brain. It's like a mental filing system, consolidating memories and processing emotions. So while you're lying there, your brain is working overtime. And that brings us to a really important point. Quality is the new quantity. We've all had that 8 hours number drilled into our heads, right? But it turns out 8 hours of bad sleep can actually be worse than 6 hours of good sleep. I mean, the difference is literally night and day. When you get high-quality sleep, you wake up with more energy, you're happier, more productive. But poor quality sleep, that's a recipe for feeling stressed out, having trouble regulating your emotions, and even a higher risk of long-term illness. The goal isn't just to be unconscious for a set number of hours. It's to give your brain enough time to complete those crucial deep sleep and REM cycles we just talked about. Now, of course, there is a general target to aim for. For most adults, that sweet spot is somewhere between 7 to 9 hours a night. That's usually the right amount of time to get in all the sleep cycles you need to feel your best. Okay, so if sleep is so important, why is it so hard for so many of us? Well, that brings us to our next section, modern roadblocks to rest. Let's do some detective work and figure out what's really getting in the way of a good night's sleep. And man, the list of suspects is long. You've got things like shift work or even just social jet lag, where you stay up super late on the weekend and then feel wrecked on Monday. That totally messes with your body's internal clock. Then there's the big one, blue light from all our screens, which basically tells our brain, hey, it's still daytime, stay awake. And of course, there's chronic stress, which floods your body with cortisol, which is pretty much the anti-sleep hormone. All right, but it's not all bad news. Now that we know what the problem is, we can talk about the solution. So let's get into the science-backed sleep habits. This is your toolkit for building a better night's rest, starting tonight.
Habit number 1, and this might be the most important one on the list: maintain a consistent sleep schedule. This means going to bed and waking up around the same time every single day. And yes, I'm sorry to say, this includes weekends. It's the absolute best way to get your body's internal clock on a predictable rhythm, which makes falling asleep and waking up so much easier.
Next up, habit number 2. Watch your diet and activity. What you do during the day has a huge impact on your sleep at night. Getting regular exercise is amazing for sleep quality. Just maybe don't do a super intense workout right before bed. And it probably goes without saying, but try to avoid things like caffeine, nicotine, or a huge, heavy meal in the hours before you hit the sack. They can all mess with your sleep cycles.
All right, habit number 3 is to create a sanctuary for sleep. Your bedroom should really only be for one thing: sleeping. You want to send a clear message to your brain that when you enter this room, it's time to wind down. So make it as dark, quiet, and cool as you possibly can. Basically, turn it into your own personal sleep cave.
And speaking of cool, get this. Scientists have actually figured out the ideal temperature for sleep. It's somewhere between 15 and 19 degrees Celsius. That's 60 to 67 Fahrenheit. It sounds a little chilly, right? But your body's core temperature needs to drop to initiate sleep, so a cooler room actually helps that process happen faster. Okay, habit number 4, manage your technology use. And look, I know this is a tough one for a lot of us. But that blue light from our phones, our tablets, our TVs, it basically slams the brakes on your body's production of melatonin. That's the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. So, the best advice, try to put the screens away a good hour or even 2 before you want to be asleep. And finally, habit number 5, wind down with a relaxing routine. You can't just expect your brain to switch off instantly after a busy day. You need to give it some transition time. Create a little ritual for yourself that signals the day is over. Maybe it's reading an actual physical book, journaling, some gentle stretching, or listening to some calm music. Whatever works for you, the key is to be consistent. So when you really step back and look at all of the science, it's just crystal clear. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's not something you earn after you've been productive enough. It's a fundamental, non-negotiable pillar of your health. As one researcher put it, sleep directly predicts quality of life, mental well-being, and physical health. It's that important. So, I want to leave you with a question. Don't try to change everything all at once. That's a recipe for failure. Just looking at those 5 habits, what is one, just one, small thing you can commit to trying tonight? Maybe it's just turning down the thermostat before you get into bed. Or maybe you'll try putting your phone on the charger across the room an hour before bedtime. Whatever it is, pick one thing. Give it a shot, and then let us know how it goes down in the comments. We'd love to hear what's working for you. Thanks for watching, and here's to a better night's sleep tonight.